Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I thought it'd be fun to try to do an ASMR video. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up online. Basically, the whole point of these videos is just to be relaxing. I'm a pretty soft-spoken person, so I was like, I'll try it. Why not? Whatever brings in the viewers, whatever brings in the money, am I right? Anyways, so this is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I love the art in this book. I went out to Barnes & Noble's when the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie was out in theaters because I realized I didn't know where my copy was. So the art is just so cool. Let's find a good one. The Thing. Ted Martin and Sam Miller were good friends. They spent a lot of time together. On this particular night, they were sitting on a fence near the post office, talking about one thing and another. There was a field of turnips across the road. Suddenly, they saw something crawl out of the field and stand up. It looked like a man, but in the dark it was hard to tell for sure. Then it was gone. But soon it appeared again. It walked halfway across the road. Then it turned around and went back into the field. Then it came out a third time and started towards them. By now Ted and Sam were scared and they started running. But when they finally stopped, they decided they were being foolish. They weren't sure what had scared them, so they decided to go back and get a better look. Pretty soon they saw it, for it was coming to meet them. It was wearing black pants, a white shirt, and black suspenders. Sam said, "I'm going to try to touch it, then we'll know if it's real." He walked up to it and peered into its face. It had bright, penetrating eyes sunk deep in its head. It looked like a skeleton. Ted took one look and screamed, and again he and Sam ran, but this time the skeleton followed them. When they got to Ted's house, they stood in the doorway and watched it. It stayed out in the road for a while, then it disappeared. A year later, Ted got sick and died. Toward the end, Sam sat up with him every night. The night Ted died, Sam said he looked just like the skeleton. This one, I'm not going to read it, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like this one. There's no art for this one here, I don't see. Oh, no, there is one. The little house. Sorry, my bangs look kind of weird because I just got them trimmed. So they're like China bangs. But I have them pushed to the side right now because I didn't wash them this morning. To be fully honest. Okay. The Guest. A young man and his wife were on a trip to visit his mother. Usually they arrived in time for supper, but they had gotten a late start and now it was getting dark. So they decided to look for a place to stay overnight and go on in the morning. Just off the road, they saw a small house in the woods. Maybe they rent rooms, the wife said, so they stopped to ask. An elderly man and woman came to the door. They didn't rent rooms, they said, but they would be glad to have them stay overnight as their guests. They had plenty of room, and they would enjoy the company. The old woman made coffee and brought out some cake, and the four of them talked for a while. Then the young couple were taken to their room. They again explained that they wanted to pay for this. The old man said he would not accept any money. The young couple got up early the next morning before their hosts had awakened. On a table near the front door, they left an envelope with some money in it for the room. Then they went on to the next town. They stopped in a restaurant and had breakfast. When they told the owner where they had stayed, he was shocked. "That can't be," he said. "That house burned to the ground, and the man and woman who lived there died in the fire." The young couple could not believe it, so they went back to the house. Only now, there was no house. All they found was a burned-out shell. They stood staring at the ruins, trying to understand what had happened. Then the woman screamed. In the rubble was a badly burned table, like the one they had seen by the front door, and on the table was the envelope they had left that morning. think I've seen, wow, sorry. I think I've seen this image circulating the internet before. This is just a picture of a basket. The story is called May I Carry Your Basket? Sam Lewis spent the evening playing chess at his friend's house. It was about midnight when they finished their game, and he started home. Outside, it was icy cold and as quiet as the grave. As he came around a turn in the road, he was surprised to see a woman walking ahead of him. She was carrying a basket covered with a white cloth. When he caught up to her, he looked to see who it was. But she was so bundled up against the cold, it was hard to see her face. "Good evening," Sam said. "What brings you out so late?" But she didn't answer. Then he said, "May I carry your basket?" She handed it to him. From under the cloth, a small voice said, "That's very nice of you," and that was followed by wild laughter. Sam was so startled that he dropped the basket, and out rolled the woman's head. He looked at the head, and he stared at the woman. "It's her head!" he cried. And he started to run, and the woman and her head began to chase him. Soon the head caught up to him. It bounded into the air and sunk its teeth into his left leg. Sam screamed with pain and ran faster. But the woman and her head stayed right behind. Soon the head leapt into the air again and bit his other leg. Then they were gone. So I think 3 stories is pretty good. If you want to hear me do something like this again, like, I said, I don't know if this is technically ASMR, but just me reading quietly, gives you something to zone out to, then just let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a good evening or night or morning or whatever the heck you're doing. See you later.